go. Oh, got to that one. Because I ain't bothering with a webcam today. Heyo, welcome to the stream. I am so shattered. But I am gonna try and do stuff. He says. But yes. Just a long day. As you can tell, I'm still not 100%, but yeah. TF Bundy and all that jazz. Gonna try and work a bit more on this. My brain has completely forgotten what I was working on, so I'm just like, I'm just gonna figure out what I'm doing. This is one of the reasons I shouldn't. I shouldn't really stream art because I'm useless at it and it takes me ages. Hey, Saber, welcome in. But yes, we shall crack on with this and see. Alright, so I just finished doing the hair, so I think I need to sort out the clothing, Donna. I think that would be the next step, is get some clothing sorted. Maybe hips? Bring the hips up more, perhaps? Whoa, okay, yeah, don't click that button, it's big. I suppose I could bring that out a little bit more, I guess, just to play out on that hip a bit more. Yep, trying to do Pilot Cali still. Alright, so that was my clothing layer, right, okay. That's layer one. So, let's do the smart thing, let's do a layer above it, and then I can look at doing this. Oh, no, it's probably too many. I just want to see which one looks better. Don't click that button. No, the second one's definitely too much. That's not a bad one if I just straighten it out there. Okay. So if I can blend that into there. Make sure I'm on the right brush. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong buttons. I hope you're doing well today, Seba. Nope, turn that off. Oh, fuck a duck. Get our fingers apart of that. So I have started a playthrough on Encased, which was the freebie game Epic did a bit back that Caron did a showcase of. It's basically Fallout, like the old turn-based Fallout ones. I haven't checked, but I have suspicions that the team behind it essentially were responsible for Fallout, and they wanted to do another one, and they came up with Encased. I think it's Encased. I'm sure it's Encased. Yeah, Encased. I've got it on my desktop there. Because it's very much a Fallout game, just not in the Fallout verse. It's a weird one. To me, it comes across as a mix between Fallout and Stalker, the Chernobyl game with all the anomalies and the weird gubbins and all sort of jazz. Hey, Panella, welcome on in. I am getting better. The cough is just more irritating than actually debilitating, which is good. Yes, I am feeling a bit better. I was in work today. And funnily enough, at the end of the day, I was chatting to one of the people I used to work with. And, I'd mentioned I'd been having trouble with one of the people here. They then turned around and name dropped this person and showed me a photograph of them going, "Is it them?" And I went, "Yeah." And they were like, "Oh, they have a reputation." And they then proceeded to fill me in on some of the things. And I'm like, "Ooh, not good." But on the plus side, it does mean that, when this person decides that they're going to do something stupid, I can be like, "Yeah, I know about your reputation. Don't worry, I know about it." And I also now know her boyfriend's name, so next time he decides he's going to casually saunter in, I'm going to be like, "No, mate, you're not allowed in," and then just casually name drop him and just watch him be like, "Oh." Because it's like, yeah, you've got a reputation, and it's not good. But on the other side of the coin, they have said that they are looking to hand their notice in. I don't know when that'll be, but I can only hope it's soon. Because, yeah, they're just not nice. But, I have been warned by this other person that the chances are I will be marked as the reason for everything. It'll all be my fault, you see. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of expected him to do that, so I fully anticipate being, the one behind it all, and oh, it's such a shame, and all this, and I'm just like, I don't give a hoot. When push comes to shove and the landlord's got to sort of sit down and decide, I kind of get this feeling that he's going to go with what he knows. But, so yeah, that was a little bit of a chin wag I had at the end of the day. So I left work a bit later than anticipated, but it was kind of hilarious how they just went, "It's not this person, is it?" And I'm just like, oh, it's not good when someone, because their name is fairly generic, I guess. I don't know if I've mentioned the name before, but just from the surface, I'm not gonna really say it, but it's like a crystal gem element kind of name. It's one of those names, named after rocks and stuff like that. And yeah, all I said was their first name and how they were causing issues, and they just went, "Oh, is it this person? Good evening, my fox. Welcome on in." Gonna have to hang up the phone sex biz. I mean, yeah, it's annoying. It only happens for a brief period of the year, but I just weren't making the money with it. Apparently, when they ask what am I wearing, I'm not supposed to say a pink onesie with fluffy slippers. It isn't sexy, apparently. I don't know. I never really figured that out. I always thought what was sexy was what was underneath it, but hey, that's just me. Sure, I thought I turned into such a Sabre fan. Sabre fan. Yes. When the reputation precedes them. Oh, absolutely. See, Banana Nose wears that. Fluffy slippers, yay. I actually don't have any fluffy slippers, but, they don't know when they're asking on the phone. It's one of those things as a kid, I never really understood slippers, and then as I get older, I'm like, I understand slippers now. I did for a long time actually have a pair of slippers that I got when I was in Japan. They were like freebie ones that you picked up at the hotel. But I remember we went to one of the households and I pulled the slippers out to put on. and the family was so happy and impressed with the fact that I had come prepared. I had my own slippers, you see. I had paid attention to their traditions and I was ready for them, so they fucking loved it. But yeah, before I went to Japan, I used to wear like Doc Marten boots and everything. But I had to get myself some shoes, like boxed on shoes, just so because I knew I'd be taking them on and off all the time. Slippers for when you need to get to the garage quickly, put up the mints. I tend to cheat in that I take my socks off and just go barefoot, because then I can come back in, dry my feet off, and put the socks back on. But that's just me. The white boy has his own slippers. Yep, pretty much. I still remember as well. Oh, bless her. So there was this one woman, sorry, the housewife, if you will. It's the best way of describing her because there was like an entire family in this house, so it's kind of hard to say there was one woman. But she took us all out to the local picnic area, and it was a fantastic place, very very relaxing village, out in the middle of sticks and everything. Loved it, and we went to get a drink from like the vending machine, and it was Ramune, which if you've had, it's basically just lemonade, but it's in a bottle with a little marble in it. Never come across anything like this before, and I got it and I was looking at it and I'm like, how'd you open it? Now she didn't know much English and my Japanese was very poor, but she could tell I had no clue how to open it, so she was mimicking, put the cap on and then hit it. One thing she couldn't really say was basically these were the early ones. They didn't have the vents on the side, which I've found on the more modern ones, that if you have the vents on the side, you don't need to hold the top down. On this one, you kind of did, and the fact it had just come from a vending machine also didn't help. And I basically just tapped the top of it, and the thing exploded. It just showered me in lemonade. And bless her, the look on her face was abject horror with absolute hilarity. She was trying her best not to laugh because she just got this guest absolutely soaked. But at the same token, it was so hilarious for her, she just couldn't help but laugh. I found it hilarious. I was laughing at it myself, but bless her, she was mortified, but also laughing, and it was such a cute reaction from her because she had no clue what to do, whether to laugh or whether to be shocked. And she was like, "Oh, no." And we weren't anywhere near her house to get any towels or anything. I'm just like trying to dry myself off with my teacher. But that was fun. I remember that. And then we went to the hot springs. The granddad took us to the hot springs that night, and he didn't know a word of English, but he wasn't going to let that bother him. He just gestured with everything, and he was a very jovial man. Giggled at a lot of things, especially when he farted. He loved farting. Bless him. He wouldn't do it sort of when you were around, but if he thought he was alone, he'd fart and then giggle. And the thing is the room that I was staying in was next to his, and it's all paper doors and all this. So just lighting out with this. I'm like, oh my kitty aunt. Bless him. He was entertained. But yeah, he took us to the hot springs and we had a fun time there. And then we came back and he reversed the car into the house. Not too far, but yeah, he did ding the house with the car. And he gets out, he looks at it, laughed, and just walked in. It was fun. It's one of the reasons why I've been wanting to learn Japanese, to go back out there again, because I felt awkward that I didn't know much. I got by with pictures. Because a friend I went out there with, he knew more Japanese because he'd done Japanese lessons in university. So he was somewhat talking to them. And they started asking when we had a barbecue with the first family. It was a fantastic thing. It was really weird. They had a tiny little shop slash cafe, almost like you sounded roadside affair, but it being a mobile place. On this junction in the middle of this village, and they just set up this barbecue next to it, and we just spent the evening there. It was such a weird place to be, like next to what would account for the main road in the village, and there was like 2 cars that drove past us. We had the little river flowing through the village on the other side of us, and then we just sort of sat there having this barbecue, and as I said, they were doing the best to speak to us. The son knew more English, so he was doing a lot of the translation. And when they asked where I came from, I pulled out my notebook with my paper, and I basically drew a map of England, and I pointed, this is my town. And there were some of them that were so amazed that I could, from scratch, draw a rough approximation of England, and then point to where I came from, and then point to where my friend had come from, and then we'd explain things like, London is here, and this, so we're up this area, and all this. And there was a couple of kids that were there. They were very, very shy, and to try and make them feel, welcome, that they could join in, I drew them as little chibis, little super deformed images of them, and then I give them the images, like, here you go, that's you, kind of thing. And I remember the little boy looking at it, and he pointed at the images and pointed at himself, and I'm nodding. And then the son, who was the translator, came up, and he was like, he's asking, is this for him? I said, yes, it's a picture of him for him. And he said it was a picture of him, and this little kid was ecstatic. He was over the moon, because he didn't think, it was like, white men can draw anime? What is this? Hey, oh, Retro Ted, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well this evening. Oh, hope everyone's doing well, really, but I'm just recounting some of the fun times I had when I was in Japan. Right, yeah, I suppose I really need to try and figure out that. Although she's going to be wearing clothes, so getting the breast lines, maybe just this side. The advantage to clothes is you can hide some of the body detail that you don't really need to be showing. Oh yeah, it was fantastic. I said I was making up for my lack of Japanese with drawing, because it's how I felt all I could do to communicate as such at the time. So I if I could, I'd draw and sketch to indicate things. If not, I just sat there and sketched, and if anyone showed appreciation for it, they ended up with it. I was also thinking on it. At one point during the trip, they split me and my friend up into different families, which was a good and a bad thing, because then I was with people I didn't really know. But then I got to know them. Albeit one of them I ended up sharing a room with. He's the first time I've ever come across anyone who snores both in and out. I was amazed, shocked, and unable to sleep. So bless it, every time we got in the car I fell asleep. So I missed a lot of the countryside we were driving around in, because that was it. We'd get in the car, it'd start moving, I'd be like, oh, gone. But yeah, I remember excuse me, we'd gone to a restaurant with one family, and they'd got a translator for us, because the head honcho of this family was rich, very rich, and he had hired this translator for us, which was brilliant. And she was taking us out, and she was given his car to drive, and she was petrified, because driving the boss's car kind of thing. and she wasn't quite used to it. We figured this part out when on the way back from the restaurant, she was driving and she was saying the car felt sluggish and she weren't quite sure why. And she's like, I hope I haven't broken anything because, it's not my car. But it's just feeling really sluggish and I can't figure it out. She'd been driving with the handbrake on. And this car had been shifting down that road. It wasn't a slouch. But it was like, oh, the handbrake's on. So yeah, she was mortified at that point because then she's like, I've broken the handbrake. Oh my god, the boss is gonna kill me. It's like, whoops. But yeah, I remember when I met back up with my friend, the family he'd been with, they took him to do like calligraphy and everything, and I thought that was brilliant. And he'd done a hand painted sign with a brush, which had Nihon ga suki desu, or I love Japan. And as we were waiting for the trains to get us back to the airport to get us to Tokyo, he had his hands full of stuff, so I'm like, I'll hold something, and I'm there, I ended up with this sign in front of me, and I'm sort of sat down on them at the station waiting for the train with this big sign, hand calligraphy and everything, I love Japan. And this train pulls up, and these, all the people are getting off, and there's so many people looking at this sign that I'm holding as I'm chatting to my friend, and they're nodding and approve, like, oh, this person's done this brilliant sign, oh, look at him, he's so appreciative of Japan, and I'm just like, you've done the hard work with the sign, but I'm getting all the reward with it. Oh, bless me. And when we went to Tokyo, because we spent the first week with families and the second week we spent in Tokyo, because we weren't that sure we'd be able to go around Japan ourselves. So we in a way, were kind of boring. We decided to see what Tokyo had to offer. Not bad, kind of like London in a way. It has some really nice places, but I felt like I'd just gone to London. So it was okay. But my friend wanted to get a set of gloves that they use for their archery because there's like specific style and he wanted them because he liked the look of them and all that sort of jazz. So we looked online for a archery store and we found one and we thought we're going to make our way out there and oops, I'm in the wrong tool and explore the place whilst we're doing it, which was absolutely worth it. It was great to walk around not knowing exactly where we were going. Oh, that's way off. Actually, let's have a decent look at that a second. Yeah, I'll trim that actually. So we finally found this shop. We'd walked past it like 3 times because it was an odd thing that they had there was a car parking area and then the shop was above it. So we're walking around and looking at eye level and we're like, we should be around here somewhere. And it was only casually looked around and looked up and saw the shop. I'm like, oh, it's above. It's like on the first floor kind of thing. And bless it, my friend was wearing at the time a t-shirt which said looking for a Japanese girlfriend. Which is like a kiss me quick hat in Blackpool. That's the impression I got when the lady who came out to service, she saw the t-shirt and she just basically almost rolled her eyes at it. She then saw my t-shirt and bless her, she looked at it, looked back at my friend, and then she turned her head back sharply to look at me. She proper double take, read the t-shirt, and she was smirking all the time because she knew what it said. And I think it was just the fact that I was wearing it without a hoot in the world. Basically, the t-shirt said, "This person is extremely perverted. Exercise caution when around them." And it's this bright red t-shirt as well, so it wasn't exactly like it was trying to be subtle. And I knew exactly what it said, and I was wearing it for the giggle shock value. And I like to think that it worked. We also went to the Tokyo Edo Museum, which was a fantastic place to walk around. Lots of history there. And one of the security guards saw us, and he was having a chat. And he saw my t-shirt, and he went, "Do you know what that t-shirt actually says?" And I read it word for word for him, and he's like, "Okay." He said, "I just wanted to check," because he says, he sees a lot of people, they buy t-shirts and they have no idea what it says. And that's where a lot of these people get the laughs from, is that you're wearing t-shirts which say things like that and they don't know that's what it means. I'm like, no, I knew exactly what this meant and I wanted to wear it. He said, all right. He said, well, for you, he said, you're probably going to be interested if you head down the stairs, take a left, then take the next right, and then take the second left, and that will probably be what you need to be looking at. He said, start there, trust me, you'll enjoy it. So I'm like, okay, I'll go there first, have a look, and then we'll wander around. Yeah, that section was essentially the origins of Euro manga, or basically the origins of porn. And I just got there and I'm looking at it, I'm like, all of it, mate, seriously. I had me chuckling, and as we were wandering around later on, he saw me, and I give him the thumbs up, and he just gave me the biggest, cheesiest grin with his thumbs up afterwards. Oh, bless. Yeah. I said I had fun there. Still need to go back at some point. I want to go back mostly because I want to see what's changed. I can remember a lot of places there, which, considering how crap my memory is, I mean, I'm chuffed with it. But I want to see if they're still there. Unfortunately, a friend who's out there, I don't think he's that close to Tokyo. I'll have to ask him. But if he is, I might see if he can just go to these places and see if they still exist. Because there was a ramen bar that we went to in Akihabara. And it was plain, cheap, and delicious. And that's all I needed. I had a huge bowl of... I don't know why I'm showing it with my hands. I've not got a webcam. But it basically was like a bowl of ramen bigger than my head. With huge chunks of chicken in there. And then like all the noodles and all that stuff. And it was absolutely delicious. And it worked out to be about £2.80. And I was like, this is fantastic. We went to other places when we were being taken around by a friend of a friend. They were taking us around Tokyo, and they took us to one place that they liked. But that was costly. It was like £8 for a bowl of ramen. It was good, but expensive. But this other place, he's like, I'll show you where I normally go to. He says, it's a bit out of the way. He says, it's a bit grungy. He says, but I like it. So we went there, and when he said grungy, I was expecting it to be like, filthy inside. It wasn't. It was clean. So it was just where it was. It didn't have that kind of, sparkle and glimmer on the outside. It was just basically a plain storefront with plain chairs, with plain tables, and you had tap water in Brita filters. Other places had bottled water and other stuff. Everything about it was plain as chips. However, the water was free because it was tap water, so if you needed more, you just asked for it. And the food was delicious and cheap. And I'm like, I can see why you like this place. I have no issues with this. But yeah, it was like his little area that he liked to go to, and it wasn't too far from Akihabara Station as well. And I can more or less remember where it is in Akihabara. Actually, I'm kind of curious. I'm going to see if I can get Google Street View up and see if it's still there. We shall take a brief takeaway from here and go out to Japan virtually. There's Tokyo. Akihabara is there. Yes, there you are. Right, it should be under that. Let me just have a quick look. Can I drop you down there, little man? Ooh, what's that? Oh, I don't know what that one is. Yes, it's still there. I can't get the camera to look. Oh, wait. Has the camera just shifted? I was trying to click like mad to get the camera to look at it. Oh, come on, camera. God, the camera is very awkward here. I don't know whether it's because I'm under a bridge or whatnot, but it's showing an interior view in like a... How does one move? Oh, you click. Oh, sugar. Whoa. I just suddenly shot down the street. I didn't want to do that. Yeah, there it is. Right. Okay. I've got Winamp on the front of the thing, so I can't see. Right. So we came down from the station Akihabara, just over here, and walked down the street, and that, I'm damn sure, was the place. It's either that one, or there is one on this side as well. And it's one of those where I can't quite remember which side we came from, but it's essentially under the Akihabara Bridge. Either that one or that one. But they've now got more because there's another one there that wasn't there before. But yeah, it was very plain. So it looks like it's tarted it up a bit more. But as I said, the food was just well worth it. Ooh, Madoka. But yes. And where was it? Was it down here? Yeah, so there was a lady on the corner here who was dressed up in a maid outfit. And I asked if I could take a photograph, and she wouldn't let me. I was disappointed. It was a shame. I was hoping to. But yeah, the station is just down there-ish. And gamers, for those that want gamers, it is that way and around the corner. For those that know what gamers is. So yeah, sorry, that was just a slight change. Oh, I should have had a look to see if I could find the village. I've done it once before. Hang on, I'm gonna go back and quickly see if I can find the village that I stayed in. Hang on, I might as well... come here, you. We'll do this together. So, it was down... So I know it was north of Kumamoto. Because I know we stayed near Kumamoto. And then we went near Mount Aso, which is over there. It's like a live volcano. We actually went on the rim of Mount Aso. That was a thing. Staring into an actual live volcano. I think the little village was like around here. I think. Can I search for it? Let's try. Hoshinamura. Oh, I wasn't too far off. So, if I click on... No, click on that. Was that the road? Yeah. Were we staying down here? I don't think it was this far down that we stayed. But this was the village we were in. Yeah, I think it was down the other way. Yeah, it was definitely down the other way. This is desperately trying to remember if it's something when I was there. Bearing in mind this was like 2015, if not earlier. like this was like the main road through the town. Oh. Oh, it weren't that one. That's a shame. I was thinking I might have found it then, and I don't think I did. No. I remember it being similar to that, but the driveway basically went up to the wall there, and that's when the granddad backed into it. But yeah, I can't find it. Oh, was that? Oh no, I don't think it's that. But I was just trying to find where we had the barbecue as well. But anyway, I could spend ages doing that. I know it was somewhere in there. Eventually I'll find it again. I found it once before. Oops, wrong button. I found it once before, ages back. But yeah, it's very rural. The first hotel we stayed in was up on the hills, and in the morning we got up and we had the balcony facing out into the valley, and the clouds had come in low, so all the valley was in the mist, but we were above the cloud level, so we were there and just looking at hills on either side, just poking out the clouds. It was surreal, absolutely beautiful to wake up to. Ugh. Anyway, I really should continue with actually sketching now. So I've got the face on a separate layer, that's fine. So that is going to be clothing. I need to create a clothing layer. Come on. But I also remember as well, we had we went to a factory where I'll say a factory, industrial area where they made tea. They like processed the green tea and everything, and there was a. Let me just sketch it quickly over here. So you had the factory, and there was a road that ran down the side to like a car park area, and there was other parts of the factory here, and then here you had a river. Now the side view of this was you had. So there's your river. There's this area, and then it went down, like from here to here was a slope going down, but this was just a drop, like that. No barriers, no safety guards, or anything like that. It was just, if you took that corner too hard, you were going down that hill. And we were like, my God, don't you have like barriers and stuff like for safety? And they looked at us and said, well, people know it's there. Why would we need barriers? If someone drives off, it's their fault. They know it's there. And then we went in and we were looking around at the floor, if you will, like all the machines and stuff. And none of them had safety guards near open exposed cogs, belts, you name it, all sort of stuff. They basically told us stand away from the machines because if they get turned on, they didn't expect them to be, but if they were turned on, they didn't want us near them because of these things. And we were like, don't you have like safety? And again, it was like, well, why would someone stick their hand in there when it's moving? It was just like, coming from a country where health and safety has gone mad, it was a breath of fresh air. But also, it was bizarre to try and understand this. Yeah, it definitely was an eye opener for a lot of things. Right, 1 minute. I need to bring up the Mech Warrior pictures because I need to look at uniforms again. I really should save these because every time I come to do this, I have to go back to Ragnarok's post, and then I'm scrolling upwards further and further each time. Mostly because there's a lot more mech warrior images. Oh, that's a ghost bear pilot. Where was the one that I was using for Kelly? Ah, there we go. High colors, that was it. Idiot checker difficulty level nightmare. Yep. And the best thing is, it didn't have to worry about things like, civil suits or so, because it literally was, well, they know it's there, why would they do that? It was just, oh, it's such a breath of fresh air to have people with brains. Actually, let's put you on that screen. And then you on that screen, and then I can actually look at the image. That makes more sense. Ta-da! Or I can actually click open original, and then it opens an original. Ooh, boobs. Can I have that back on that window? Thank you. I'm so glad that that was a safe for work image I just loaded up. I mean, that's all I ever have on this PC, yes. Right, okay, so, let's get rid of that line a bit, I think, as well, whilst I'm at this. Bit too harsh, it doesn't need to be that much. Plus, whoa, what have I just done? Wrong there. Yeah, nothing fully exposed. Never be too careful, though. Mind you, saying that, I was on Christmas Day. I went to go watch Chiron. Hilariously streamed the Captain. I have got to play that game. And yeah, there was like, a recommended Twitch channel, and this woman's like, I'll be doing squats when the countdown time it hits 0, and I'm like, and that's how you get your views, isn't it? You'll be doing squats in a tiny bikini. I'm just like, and they can get away with that, and it's just, what the hell? And the only reason I know that that's what she was doing is because that was the entire title of the stream. It's a damn bloody shame. I say that because there's a few other female streamers that I watch who play games and stuff like that who don't have anywhere near the same amount of followers and stuff like that. And I think they should, because they're providing entertainment in a slightly better way. One of them's even a Japanese voice actress who can speak fairly good English. And she's very good at chatting to folks and switches between languages really easy. And I remember she was saying in one stream she was doing an audition for something that was going to be in English, and she was worried. I should check up and see if she heard anything on that. But yeah, she was so worried about it, and everyone was like, well, why? Your English is great. Now, you say that, Panana, but if I get my boobs out, no one's going to want to watch. I'll probably get banned quicker than a sneeze. Oh, I suppose technically they're moobs, so, I suppose that's the difference. I don't have boobs, I have moobs. Manly boobs. Rawr. But yeah, to me it's just such a shame that people feel that they have to do that to get followers, and I'm just like, no, you could sing. Accidental caps or best accidental caps. Oh yeah, I should get some of those little like tassel things and let's swing around and whee. I've always thought it'd be interesting to try pole dancing. I know it's come out of kind of left field, but it's one of those things I've looked at and go, that looks kind of cool to try. And knowing a guy who has dressed up as Dr. Robotnik and done it, and he does it bloody brilliantly, I'm just like, at least I know it's completely, fine for a bloke to do it. I've always thought pole dancing wasn't really a manly thing, but no, he does it and does it brilliantly. The fact he does it as Dr. Robotnik is just to really rub it in people's faces, I think. Do apologise for all the coughing. Right, I need to try and put clothing on this one. Otherwise, Twitch is going to have a field day with me. I mean, there is no nipples, but it's still Twitch. So, let's start by giving her a top. So I'm thinking, what did I do with that? So yeah. Looking at that. So if if we sort of say that she's got that's going to go off there. Actually, no, that would follow that a bit more. I don't want to fall into the trap of having impossible clothing, the stuff that hugs the body too much. And then, so where's the center line going to be? So that's center line. So if we have a top that sort of does that. And now let's see if I was to bring that up to there. Suddenly, clothing is impossible. Yeah, I try and avoid it. It just doesn't look right. But there's a reason a lot of the characters that I draw tend to be in military gears, because military gear is what I wear a lot of, and I sort of know more about that. So let's see if we had a seam there. So I'm thinking like a 3-panel. No, it's not 3 panels. That's one. That's 4, or 2 panels in the front. I can count. I'm math. But then I can have it so that you see that there, and it gives more of a gap there. Hang on. So let's. keep it with just the one line for now. Because technically it's pressing, not squeezing. Keep that for a moment because I'm probably going to regret deleting it if I do. What I do want to try is... Let's clear that a second. Clear that a second. Right, go to that, go to that. Nope, wrong colour. Actually, do I want that as a two-tone top? So if that comes down there, and that goes around there, we'll do that. And then do that. And then if I do want it to look like it goes around, so I need you to do that. There we go, that's what I need. to there, up to there. Let's sort these out because I'm not happy with them. Got the idea, I just need to. I really need to normalise this song. It's very, very quiet. Let's go. Do. Obelisk, that'll do me nicely. No. Do. Sorry, I've gone really quiet. I've just realised that. Concentration. Oh, that's the wrong way around for that. Might have gone overboard on that one. Let's remove that. I mean, yeah, there is that saber, you know. Someone's got to do the work. Right, so if I do that as under the top, I shall have belt. Because, surprise, it's going to be a belt. But I want to try and somewhat hide it. I normally have my belts are about there-ish. I would assume it'd be very similar. So I'm kind of thinking they would have. And then what I'll do is, if I give it These are circles, I promise. They just don't look it. It's all part of a carefully calculated plan. What I want you to do is delete that because that can go on the layer above this. Let's do this in a slightly different colour so I know what the hell I'm doing. So we are going to have the first loop. Oh, crying out loud, my cat, you can just follow a line, can't you? No is the answer. No, you can't. Yeah, fix it in post. Wait, no, this is technically post. Oh, monkey poop. Oh, for crying out loud. Yep. And then, actually, I want you to come out a bit more. Oops. These will probably get changed later on. I'm not exactly happy with them, but they will do for now. It's just to give me an idea of what it is. Oh, fudgy ducks. Oh, for crying out loud. Oh, wrong button. Right, okay, so... No, wrong way. That loop went the wrong way, it should go that way. And then... you're gonna have that there to remind you that this is going over the leg there. How does that look? He says, staring down at his jeans, trying to figure out how the hell the bloody... Although, do female jeans do what the shirts do when they have the buttoning on the other side? I never understood why that is. Sorry, I was looking, I was such as some jargon. Heard you freebase call for your clan masters. Can he? Hey, Rag, how you doing? You know me, I only call for the Canopian Cat Girls. do jacket and figure out what I'm doing for that. Let's do it in a fetching colour of puke green. So the colour I want to have, ideally I want it to be so it's more or less the same. Nope. 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 That was close, but nope. That'll probably do, because then I can right, so the artwork I've got here, she has got some serious pauldrons going on there, so I'll worry about them. I'll put them on a separate layer. I want to have a short jacket. No, let's give her a long one. So what I can do is, if I give her a raised part, that can also go down. So that is where the creases are coming from. So I think I may have accidentally food coma myself at the Toby Carver. I mean, you know, food comas aren't bad. I find food comas are like drums. You can't beat them. Well, you can have to, really, I guess. so there is. Let's give it a rough shape. Actually, you wouldn't want it on the elbows. So yeah, let's not put that there, because otherwise you won't be able to bend your elbow. Duh. I mean, technically putting pauldrons on is a bit of a risky gambit, but hey, it's a mech warrior, they can do what the hell they want. Because, you know, mech warriors. Rule of cool, yo. Right, let's try and make that look a little bit better. So let's just hide the rest a second. Apologies if you can hear all the noise with the door going off. I have no idea what the hell is happening out there. It might be too much for me to hope that the nuisance is moving out. Be a bit of an odd time to do it, but then again, odd times and doing things is what they do best. I've forgotten I made a sandwich until you said food coma. Yeah. Just look at the charger. That was a mistake that would not do. True. Ooh. Could I? Oh, I need to do something. I need to find a reference image. Oh. It's a very simplistic skull that she has, I know that much. I'll say that looking at some of the official art, she does have bloody spikes on her collar. I really should see about incorporating that. So, instead of where I was going to have I'll be looking at large, small, large, okay. And then what I'm thinking then is that becomes her skull motif. Suddenly thoughts. If you haven't seen the latest text video, it's like an error and a bit of text ragging on the charger. Awesome. I haven't seen it yet, but I will watch it at some point, probably on the weekend, just because I'll have time then. I think they'd probably throw a bit of a hazy fit if I started watching texts in work. Text Talks Battletech, by the way, for those that may not know. If you want to know about Battletech and listen to a guy with a voice you can fall asleep to listening, and I don't mean that in a bad way, then Text Talks Battletech is great. It's a good combination of lore and hilarity. trying to remember one of my favourite quotes. I think it was for the Taurian Concordat, and it's like, to them, recoil is a repetitive strain injury. I think when he said that, I pretty much spat my tea out in laughter. That was great. Yep, cheers, thank you very much. I need to try and find a decent image of the mascot. Ooh. Of course, yeah, she's got that. So she's got a very cartoony one. And then I've noticed there's another one that she has, which is less cartoony, which I can just probably draw normal. Ah, of course, of course. So she's got... Let's just quickly... Of course they wear shades, or at least that one does. It's just suddenly seeing things and remembering, like, oh yeah, that's a thing. In fact, that's probably about the best one I can go with. So, let us... Can I? I'm trying to think if I can fit her. Inside that design. Oh, hang on. So, if I do this, and basically try and fit the Salif design down here as such. So you'd have that as silver, that as black. If I do that, I can put the other half, the other part of it there. So I try and blend the shape of the pauldron into her, or at least it's got like a bit of her scythe on there. Of course, the tricky thing is then trying to replicate this on the other side, but at least I have an idea now. Oh yeah, it's going to be tricky. Right, so let's do that. Straight across with it doesn't matter. And then I want to have looks okay. It's just that one I'm not too keen on. But parts it might be hidden by the jacket anyway. That one can go now. Wait. So what layer did I put? I'm confused. Oh. Let's put that there, because then I know where that is. Okay. So let's just... Where's that a second? And the only thing I haven't really got is like the helmet going there. I don't know how I'm going to draw that now. Should have thought of that one sooner. Oops. I didn't think of that one, no, did I? No, I didn't. Also, just gonna. Just feels like it needs a little bit more. I think that's not too bad for clothing wise, so I'll just minimize that again. Still not sold on these. I needed the boots as well. Boots. Monkey poop. But I think that'll do for now. Right, I'm gonna call it here because I'm starting to get a bit of a headache working on this. I think staring at the screen is not doing me any particular favours. I don't really want to be off ill again. So I shall wrap this up here. But progress has been made. That's, we're getting there. We're getting there. So I hopefully will be streaming on Friday. I have to remember what bloody day I'm on. I have no idea what I'll do, but I'll do something. It'll be a game of some kind. Or if not, I'll do some more drawing. We'll find out. But a big thank you to everyone who turned up to watch. I do hope you enjoyed watching this. It's been great having people here, having a bit of a chat whilst I've gone through this. Walk down memory lane in some areas. There's no one really for me to read out to, so I'm just going to wrap it up here, I think. So yeah, big thank you to everyone, whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you are. It's been an absolute pleasure having you, and until next time, doodles.